to It's a Lifestyle with Melissa, and I'm coming to you today to bring you a renovation, do's and don'ts, tips on what to do, what not to do, and hoping that that helps you if you're someone who's doing a renovation at home or hiring a contractor. If you're hiring a contractor, these are some tips that I would give you. Is one, get a contractor that's either been referred to who had work done at their home. That way you can go and you can ask them, can I see their job that they've done, and they can let you see it. In my case, my contractor came from a referral from my in-laws. My mother-in-law, shout out, hi mom. Anyway, she referred the contractor that we're using. I really I like this contractor. I was able to see his work and he does a good job. So that made me reassured and my husband reassured that we were making a good decision with hiring him. Now, another tip is if you're gonna do this at home and you're gonna do it on your own, I would say at least do your research, whether that's YouTubing it and finding, you know, at-home renovation tips, do-it-yourself guides. Don't be afraid to ask people who work at Lowe's, work at Home Depot, maybe even asking other contractors to just come over and kind of give you some tips along the way. If you have someone that is a friend of the family or a family member, you might not necessarily want to pay them, but you can use some advice and all the information you can get. So make sure you do that before you tackle on a project. The next thing, as far as a contractor, make sure you have a contract with them, even if it's a real close friend of the family who is going to do your job. Make sure you have a legal agreement that both your signatures are on, that has the paying schedule, that has the time schedule of when it should be completed, when payments are due, as well as everything in detail of the work that needs to be done. Another tip that I do have for you is that if you are having a contractor come in, if they do have multiple jobs that are going on along with your home, that they might not be at your home every single day. You will need, oh my gosh, you will need so much patience. Oh my gosh, thank you, Lord, for giving us patience, because even the wall of China was not built overnight. And I say that because sometimes even when you have a time schedule written down on the contract, most likely it's gonna go over a few days. This renovation was supposed to be done in 14 days. It was gonna be done the exact same time as my oldest going to college, and she went to college and I'm still in the renovation. So you're gonna need patience because, and you're gonna thank God for his grace, because it's gonna go over the amount of time sometimes, whether it's a day, whether it's two. In my case, it's kind of pushing a week already, past the 14 days. And we haven't moved in here yet. So it kind of gets frustrating at times. So I would just say, bear with it. There's a finish line, it's coming soon. Don't get overwhelmed with something that you have no control over, and that's the hard part, because all the control is in the contractor's hands. All you can do is speak up. Let your voice be heard though, okay? Send reminders of when you're gonna be at the house. If you're living in the home while the contracting renovation is being done, that could be frustrating because it creates a stressful environment. So I would just say, Mom, woman of the house, do your best to create peace in your home in the middle of chaos, because your husband will thank you, your kids will love you for it. They won't even know that you're doing it, but it will be a blessing to them. So as hard as it is, try to just create that environment of peace in the midst, like I said, of chaos and stress. and enjoy the process, because it is frustrating. So just remind yourself, this is probably something you're never gonna do again. This is probably the first project, maybe the last one in a while. So although it's frustrating, although it's disappointing at times because you're predicting a finish line or a day to be finished and you don't get that, know that it's still an exciting thing to see it unfold. The next thing is, make sure it is a licensed contractor. You don't want to, you know, we had people that could do the job, but they weren't licensed. The reason why you want a licensed contractor is because at the end of the day, if something goes wrong later on, 2 months from now, 6 months from now, you want to be able to call him up, hold him accountable for him to come back and finish or fix the work. With an unlicensed contractor, they can be MIA and never found again. So don't do that to yourself. You deserve better, so make sure you give that to yourself and hire the best and licensed. The next thing I would say is, there's a lot of things that get overlooked, especially if you do have a contractor who has multiple jobs, multiple workers, that a second set of eyes is not a bad thing. So it's okay for you to just tell your contractor, hey, what about this? What about that? Are you still gonna do that? And speak up, let your voice be heard, so that way you're always continuously on the same page. Because there's nothing more frustrating than feeling like you're not understanding each other. You wanna have a clear, good understanding with your contractor. Second, I would tell you, if you see the design of the renovation taking a different turn, whether that's a little off of what your expectation was or it wasn't what you asked for, make sure you speak up then too. You're paying for the job. You want something to be done the way you visually were seeing it. So again, that's going back to getting back on the same page with your contractor, because there's so many things going on at once. So many different people, whether it's the electricity, the rewiring, painting, spackle, granite guys, sink. So there's so many different scenarios, different things going on, different people working, that some things can get overlooked. And you want to make sure that you bring that to your contractor's attention. The next thing I wanted to just go ahead and, I'm gonna go ahead and give you an updated renovation update, a visual one of where we're at so far, so that way you can see. And I'm also gonna pinpoint some details of what you know you wanna pay attention to and bring up to your contractor along the way. And there's no dumb question. So, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start showing you. Okay, so you can start seeing here that we have the granite on. So we have the granite on, they instilled the sink. If you're wondering, or you have questions on a sink, what to get, this is granite compound. It's scratch resistant, dent resistant, chip resistant. It's in the color black. It has a little bit of some sparkles in it. They're not, you know, you can't see them right now. They're not that prevalent, but they're in there. It looks dirty, but that's just because they're working. Okay, now the reason I was indecisive between this and the stainless steel. The only reason why I opted for this is because, you know, my family's still growing. My little one is still, you know, young, and we entertain here with our family and friends. And I didn't want to have to worry about, you know, something happening. So I thought more practically than aesthetically. Although I like how it turned out and it looks. I love the farm sink. It's kind of, you know, one of the, you know, latest trends to do. So, I mean, I still like it. And next, okay, so the granite's in, but you see they still have to do the covers on the light switches, and they have to put the covers on there. These are some of the details that you know that they're gonna do, or you hope that they'll do, but they're just the last minute touches. The one thing that you wanna make sure that you tell your contractor is to seal your granite. I don't know, in regards to your counter, it could, anything's different, but I know with this stone, it needs to be sealed. And so some contractors won't do that unless you tell them to do that. So make sure you tell them to do that, so that way, you know, you don't ruin your counters that you just instilled. Okay, so I removed the microwave. There's some holes that need to be patched that haven't been patched. I bring that to your attention because, see, they've already drywalled all up there. They drywalled, they painted. So if they've done all of that and painted all around here, and they painted in here, then my thought is, why didn't they spackle that, fill those holes, and paint right there? So I didn't say anything to the workers that were doing their job, because there is a contractor, you know, a property manager on, you know, on site who oversees. So that's who you should talk to, the one who's in charge. And so I brought this to his attention, like, is he gonna, you know, are they gonna do that? He said, yeah. I just didn't understand why they didn't do it at the same time they did everything else. Now, they still have to do continue the molding over here and finish that. Here's another fine detail. I'm gonna just bring it to your attention. Of course, some people are gonna be like, you know, can't even see it, what's the big deal? But up here, you see that gap? Okay, there's a little, I'll go closer. A little gap right there. It needs more like caulking or spackle or some kind of filling right there. See, to me, that's like an unfinished, could be sloppy job. And yes, it's up on the ceiling, but I can see it. And if you're anything like me, you'll always see it then, you know? So there's some other things like right here. So they put the island back. But forgot, well, I don't know if they forgot, but they didn't put the plugs back in. So that's something I brought to my contractor's attention. Also, I'm hoping that, you know, everything gets cleaned up. See, like that, those white things, and that's all spackled. That's all has to be cleaned up and stuff. So there's some little things that still need to get done. You see over there, the bottom has like, you know, has the molding down there. So this one still needs it, so they have to put that back. I'm gonna be redoing my own kitchen cabinets eventually. So they're gonna stay this color until I can do that myself. Right here, the molding at the bottom still has to be put on. They still have to put the grout, you know, grout the tiles. We only had to put about 8 tiles in place of that missing wall that was missing. They still are gonna be doing this pillar right here. They still need to do some finishing touches. So these are all things that we're close to the end, but at the same time, you want to pay attention to if you're the one that's redoing your home and you have a contractor doing your house. You just want to pay attention to the details. Here's another thing I just wanted to take the time to show you. Okay, so you can see again in the details, there's a gap right here, and all of these screw nails are visual, and it goes clear across underneath the counters. Now, you would think, who's gonna look under the counter? Well, it's not about who's gonna look under the counter. Again, if you're hiring a contractor, you wanna make sure they're doing your job appropriately and doing you right. So right here, my contractor is gonna go ahead and put a crown molding, like some kind of molding. I don't know, not crown molding, but some kind of molding strip to cover that at the end. So I hope that really helps you in what you're doing in your home. It's a process. Again, enjoy the ride. You're probably not going to be doing this for very long. If you have any questions or you want to see anything specifically that I didn't get a chance to show you, then just comment below. I appreciate everyone who's been so positive. You've been sending me comments. I read everyone. Just the other day, I went over like 100 comments. And I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you guys for going on this journey with me. Renovations aren't easy, so this is the whole purpose of showing you the renovations and taking you along this journey and process, is so that if I can help anyone who's about to go into this project, I don't want you going in blind. I want you to be able to have at least some tips that would help you, tips that helped me, and errors that you can avoid, such as like this, like going past the date that you agreed to. So thank you. Hopefully this is pretty much over soon, and the next video I can show you is one of the complete job. So until next time, God bless. Bye.